welcome to my YouTube channel, Changing Your Outlook from the Outside In. And today I have a wonderful special guest, Michele Marshall.
Thank you.
I like to talk with people that are doing things that involve self-improvement. Anything that will help us with our confidence, our self-esteem, just sometimes a couple of quick ideas or advice that will make a difference for you for that day. And that is why I asked my friend Michele Marshall to talk to me today about her very interesting journey into authentic living, authenticliving.me.
Yes, that's the website.
I will tell you, I know Michele. She is the president of the Manhattan Toastmaster Club. This is an amazing club that I have to give Michele a lot of credit for, because it's not just a matter of improving our communication skills. Michele has made it so that if you have a message that you're trying to find your voice, she has set up programs to help us do that, and it has made a huge difference in pretty much everybody's life in the club. And what I wanted to talk to her today about is her own special project that encompasses not only the things that we learn in the Toastmaster Club, but things that she herself is developing and working on. And I thought, hey, the whole world should know, because, you know, everybody watches my channel.
That's right.
Yeah, all two of you. Thank you. Anyway. But Michele,
Yes.
please give me and my two friends out there what authenticliving.me is all about.
Thank you, Celeste. First, I want to thank you for welcoming me and having this time with me and your two and many more audience.
She doesn't really have a choice. I've got blackmail stuff on her, so yeah.
But what actually prompted me to start authenticliving.me has been my own journey. I have always, as coming up in life, found myself not being fully satisfied, I've always seemed out of place wherever I was, and I was trying to fit in different cliques, in different segments, and every time I would feel I was there, I was with everybody and in sync for 10 minutes. And then I'm out of sync, and I'm thinking, is it them or is it me? And realizing that sometimes the common denominator kind of stands out, and it was me. Not in a right or wrong way,
Right.
but it was me.
Okay.
And with that, I needed to discover how to be fully who I am in whatever group setting I'm in, or whatever setting I'm in, and still feel that not only am I contributing, but that I'm also receiving. And recognizing when that flow is still there, and then of course acknowledging when it's not, and to know to move on to a new adventure, a new discovery. That's what actually brought me to Toastmasters to begin with, because I wanted to be able to communicate the fact of, this is what I want to contribute, or hey, things aren't going well, how to effectively communicate that without insulting people, and just to do so with grace and elegance. And once I joined Manhattan Toastmasters Club, as my time with the club extended, I then came into an officer role, ending up becoming president of the club, like you were mentioning. Once I've gotten there, I decided to take a chance and allow the club to be my playground.
Okay. Yeah.
Yeah, and pretty much saying, okay, what is it that I want to learn? What is it that I want to try?
Mm-hmm.
And I put it out there to see if everybody in the club would agree with it. And so far, no one has said no,
Yeah.
which has spoiled me rotten, because now I'm thinking the rest of the world will be just as compliant.
Yeah. But she makes a really good point, because what's interesting is what we think is really truly unique to ourselves. We find that actually a lot of people end up being interested in learning the same thing.
Right.
There's a lot of us who maybe have a little trepidation of saying, can we try this?
Mm-hmm.
Mainly because you think, oh, I think this is only an issue that I'm having.
Right.
And when you actually have the opportunity to put it out there and see how well people are going, oh yeah, I need to learn that.
Yes.
It really is very mind-opening and also just, again, how connected we really all are.
Exactly, and that's one of the things that after, 4 years of being in the front line for the club and doing all these different programs and experiments, I really want to now parlay that into the real world.
Okay.
Which is now why I have started AuthenticLiving.me. I want that site to be a portal where anyone who's coming in is on that journey. And I have that written in the About page of the website, that I'm not there as a subject matter expert. I'm there as a sojourner. I'm there with you. I'm going to document what I've gone through.
Okay.
And also give everybody the opportunity to share what are they going through. We'll have, within our Facebook group, there'll be challenges, 7-day challenge, just to try different things.
Okay,
Just to,
I like
to
that.
find out what's unique about you. And it'll be stuff that's simple.
Okay.
Not
Not rock climbing?
Not rock climbing, no. I'm really going to keep it.
Okay.
A lot of people don't want to go too far out of the familiar.
Right, that
This
makes
is
sense.
this is going to be a toe dip,
Okay.
just to make sure.
Okay.
As simple as breakfast foods.
Okay. What is,
If you've always eaten scrambled eggs because
Oh,
that's
okay.
what you were fed,
okay.
I'm going to give you the challenge to try a different egg dish that you've never tried before.
That's
It could be a soft boiled egg, and people just probably say, I don't like soft boiled eggs, but have you actually tried it yet?
Okay.
You can't really say for sure I don't like it just because I don't like it.
Right.
At least try it, and you can say without a doubt I don't like it. You may be surprised, you might actually like it.
Okay.
So
So now, if you put that out there,
Mhm.
do you have people then sign up? They're like, okay, I'm committed
Yes.
for 7 days.
yes,
I'm doing this?
exactly.
Okay.
Right. Actually the next challenge is going to be coming up for the week of September 7th.
Okay.
17th, excuse me,
Okay.
September 17th.
Okay.
We're just going to have it's going to be 7 days, but 5 days of actual do this. And then the last 2 days is, okay, let's talk about it and share what you experienced. Or even if you really did it, because some people will sign up for things but not do it. And that's going to be something to address. And we want to really make note. How often do you join something and not do anything?
And then not follow through.
Right. Not right or wrong. Let's
Right.
bring attention to it.
It's that, and again, that mindfulness of
Mhm.
it. I think that, I see that more and more. 30-day challenges, the 60-day challenge.
Yes.
And I like the idea it's a 7-day challenge. I mean, especially if you are looking to do something new, you could do anything new for 7 days.
Exactly.
And it's not, like you said, too out there.
No.
Okay.
This is really a baby step
Right.
because as soon as you say authenticity to people, for some people it's a moral issue, for some people it's a consciousness level, others people view the term authenticity differently.
Okay.
And I'm really want just to introduce the conversation on a casual level and then build upon that. And that's what the full vision of AuthenticLiving.me is about. Realize that there are going to be people in different walks of life, some people who are fully self-aware and know exactly what identifies themselves, and they are non-apologetic about it, and also in no harm about it.
Okay.
And there are people who are saying, "Well, I just learned what authenticity means in the dictionary, but I don't know what that means for me."
Yeah.
And just and that whole space in between for everybody to come into that conversation. Again, not where I'm the only person speaking about it, but I want the person who's completely self-aware to be able to speak to the person who puts in a question, well, what does this mean? And they can give their feedback on it, and then start that conversation.
Nice.
Yeah, and also in addition to that, not just figuring out who you are in a sense of how you express yourself physically or what your likes and dislikes are, but how you communicate.
Right.
And just discovering your own authentic voice. There are people who want to be a speaker or who have a message and they want to deliver. And I want to be able to have a group coaching program available within that for people to come together and get their message fine-tuned and also discover their speaking style. We already have a Brene Brown, we have a Les Brown, we have Tony Robbins, we have all of these other speakers. Oprah is already out there. We already have an Ellen DeGeneres.
Right.
Anyone else coming up doesn't have to be and shouldn't be a carbon copy of somebody else that's out there. Influenced by, yes. To be an exact replica, it's been done.
Right, and then, like you said, then it gets away from the uniqueness and the authenticity that you're trying to get out of somebody.
Exactly.
And so part of your program isn't just one thing. You've got a couple of things going on within this one portal.
Yes.
Which means people can come, they can, find out what it means to be unique, to find out what your strengths are, but also then to find out too, if you want a message to help communicate and find your voice, you also work with that.
Exactly.
That's amazing.
Yeah, and that's within my experience, especially in the Toastmasters environment, where for those of you who aren't aware, within Toastmasters, you have to develop speeches. And coming up with topics was such a unique challenge for me because I'm thinking, well, what am I going to talk about? And it was in the discovery of picking topics that had me realize, oh, I never thought I was interested in how the effects of smiling is to other people. And that was a topic of one of my speeches. Did some research, did some practical application, and I had a speech on that, and I started to really learn these various different things, from visualizations and understanding an athlete's mindset. That was another topic that I had, and it really broadened my horizons. So it's just sometimes all we need is just one item to just say, look into this.
Right.
That we probably, in our regular circles, or our familiar circles, wouldn't have thought about. So this is that opportunity to give you something different to look at. That's not, again, no harm to yourself or others.
Permission to explore.
Yes, exactly.
Now, I know that besides the website, she also does professional speaking.
Yes.
My question to you is, do you stay with one topic that you go out to lecture on? Or is it something that you go to a specific audience and they say, these are our needs, this is what we want to learn, this is what we want to understand, and then that means you customizing a speech?
Yes. Actually, I do the latter. I customize based on the audience. As an example, I was at a women's empowerment weekend this past weekend, and I was one of the featured speakers. And the theme of the event was Train, Unite, Rise. The full empowerment weekend was curated by martial artists. So their training aspects for their segment was going to be more on the physicality, women's self-defense, and they also brought in yoga and other physical, body awareness to the training portion. But I want to stick with the theme and really gear it more on the mindset, because yes, there is the physical empowerment that we want to be able to have for ourselves, but there's also a level of a mindset. And sticking to the Train, Unite, Rise theme, I discussed talking points on training in the sense of how to start training our mindset. Not that they're going to be that weekend fully mastering it, but this is the starting point. With Unite, stressing the importance of, especially as women, how we need to come together and work cohesively. We are not in competition. We are to champion each other and really focusing on to be a competitor and to do that. That's really an immature girl mentality. Girls compete. women in power. And that's,
I like that.
And that's what I've stressed to the ladies. And then also with Rise, continuing on that thing, because that's something that we haven't been allowed to express and haven't really been taught to unite together, and also rising together, meaning that we're lifting each other up without stepping on each other.
Right.
And so that's an example of how I curated a speech just to focus on the event, to be a value added contributor, not to take away from the theme of the weekend.
Well, that's excellent.
Yes.
Yeah, and that gives you an opportunity to explore for yourself.
Right, exactly.
New subjects to come out and work on and present.
Yes.
And still in your voice.
Right, exactly. What I've noticed with some of the more acclaimed keynote speakers that are out there, they do have their canned speeches, which, again, it's not a right or wrong thing, but in actuality, earlier on in the genre, it's recommended. You have these themes, and when you're putting yourself out there, you just let people know, these are the topics that I have. If you want me to come out and speak, you pick a speech that you want me to do, and I'll do it. That's all well and good, but for the person, the spectator, who loves to go to events, and they're paying top dollar each time. If they happen, the spectator has no idea what the event organizer is picking, and that spectator could easily go to 6 different events and hear the same exact speech every time.
Yeah.
Which gets frustrating to someone who is seeking.
Right. And it goes back again about being authentic.
Yes.
Because I think the best way to get messages across is that it needs to come from your own personal experience.
Yes.
Your perspective on things. And presenting it that way, to me, is always the best way to engage an audience.
Absolutely.
Because we all want to hear a story. But a true story. Something that gives us an understanding of where you're coming from, what you're bringing to the table, and what you want the audience to take away.
Yes, indeed.
And it's really important, I think, more and more, especially since it's a deluge of information now.
Absolutely.
That we have that one-on-one time and also a moment to just connect with each other. Because when you are listening to a speaker with a room full of people, there's a commonality that just happens.
Yes. Indeed.
Yeah, it's all of a sudden that we're all kind of bonded together in this message and what that means for us.
Yes.
Yeah.
What I also enjoy to do at events where I'm featuring to speak, if the opportunity is there for me to be there before my time on stage, just to gauge the audience and to hear what they're saying and just kind of mill around in between, just to kind of get a feel for where everyone's at. Because it could easily be that I could come in wanting to speak about the mindset of being your authentic self. But in milling around an audience, I could hear more of people frustrated that they're stuck.
Yes.
Coming out and talking about authenticity means nothing to them. It's like they're too focused on the fact that they haven't been able to move forward. And as a speaker, you want to be able to quickly change up your message to make sure that you're reaching the audience, because it's not about the spot. Even though the spotlight's on you, it's not about you.
Yeah.
You're there to serve.
Exactly.
And that's one of the things through the group coaching is to make sure that everyone understands that fact. Yes, you are going to have your message, but the message is malleable.
Right. And that's something interesting too. You don't do one-on-one coaching. You do it in a group.
Yes, I've done one-on-one coaching, and I've found that it really didn't resonate too well because of the fact of when the time comes to practice, they're practicing only in front of me.
Okay.
With group coaching, you now have an audience.
Okay, that makes sense.
And that it makes it ups the ante for the individual, because the likelihood of becoming comfortable is not going to be there.
Yes.
When it's just you and I, if you are my coaching client and I'm working your speech with you, and by the time we've gone through fine-tuning your message, we've developed a rapport and a comfort that you're just putting out there so silky smooth that I will tell you, you've got it. And then you would call me the next week, I didn't know what to do. I was in front of a room of strangers.
Yeah.
I did you a disservice.
It's a very, very good point, because it is a completely different energy.
Yes, absolutely.
And I think, the more that you are actually in front of people,
Right.
the difference it makes in how you are presenting yourself. And because I know for myself, being in front of an audience, I want to see their reaction.
Yes.
You know, I understand how important podcasts are and everything, but to tell you the truth, just staring at myself in front of the camera and waiting for people's responses on the side, it's not the same. It's just, it's its own animal. But I think for myself, I prefer to actually have that one time to be in front of a group of people and where we all just kind of feed off of each other.
And that is you recognizing and being true to what makes you authentic.
Right, yes.
And because of that, and you've already exercised these other options, so you can say for a fact, I prefer this version.
Yeah.
And right now, even here, you are fully present, fully engaged, and that shows.
See, look how authentic I am.
But if it was just you staring at the camera and talking about it, people would feel it's like, there's something missing. Is it a pinch of salt? I'm not too sure. But it would just be one of those things that she's saying something, but gosh, something seems missing. But not now. You've spent that time.
Right.
And that's what authenticliving.me is about. It's encouraging you to do all of these different things so that you can know without trepidation or pause, this is what I know, this is what I like, this is how I'm expressing it, and expressing it with love.
I also like the fact that you are still asking people, though, to push their comfort zone.
Absolutely.
That they don't just resign themselves and just be like, yeah, but this is how I am.
No,
so.
right. Because
you are still encouraging people to still get out there, try something new, because you just might find out more things about yourself.
Exactly.
Right.
Exactly. We're constantly growing. We are comfortable with what we know because we were raised that way or we were surrounded by it. It wasn't depending on how far along you are in life, what you've learned about yourself was taught to you.
Right.
You didn't discover it for yourself. And with these different prompts, it's for you to go out and discover for yourself. It's not, well, I have pork loin because that's what my family eats all the time. Ah, yes, you and your family eat that all the time, but do you genuinely, truly like pork? You probably don't. And you probably are afraid to say you don't like pork because you didn't want your mother to disown you. But mom would be okay.
She probably, well, maybe. I don't know. There are some moms that are not.
There are some moms that aren't.
Yeah.
But if you were able to communicate lovingly, Mom, your pork loin is phenomenal. But when I'm coming over, I'm bringing over my own vegan dish because this is who I am right now. But I'm bringing this because I want to stay and have dinner with you with the family. But to be able to discover that and to figure out how are you going to express that and still you're not in isolation.
Right. Yeah. And just that importance of getting to understand yourself better without fearing consequences.
Exactly. Exactly. And that's one thing that's very exciting about where we are in 2018, 2019, how all of so many different ideas and there's this whole thing about spectrum and on all aspects. It's really opening everyone's eyes to, yes, this has always been here, but everybody's just been afraid to speak what's true for them. Because, well, what if that means I'm alone? What if it means you're not?
Right. Yeah.
But you won't know until you say something. Without no sharing, no transformation. And really, it's all about sharing.
Yes. Yes, and we need to do more of that, I think, on a more face-to-face basis too,
Absolutely.
than just behind a computer screen all the time.
Oh yeah, no, the voyeurism will always be predominant, and there's always the people speaking from the seats. They're not out in the field playing the game.
Right.
So there'll always be that going on.
Mm-hmm.
But if you as a player in the field know exactly what you're doing, somebody in the bleachers can yell it all they want, but they're not who you are.
That's a great analogy.
Yeah.
I like that a lot. Now I'm going to give you a link to her website, authenticliving.me, Michele Marshall, and let's do the 7-day challenge.
Yay! I hope to see you all there.
Thanks for tuning in.
Bye.
Bye.